Hi, Boo.
Hi, Boo. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm tired. I played disc golf today for a brewery disc golf tournament. That's why I'm wearing my brewery disc shirt. So it has hops and disc baskets and beers and lightning bolts. I won this one a couple years ago at a disc tournament. So just celebrating that. But thankfully you allowed me to take a shower afterwards because I was covered in sunscreen and pollen because we're in Georgia right now and it's March.
There's pollen everywhere, which is why I'm stuffy.
So bad. So yes, it got in my nose. It got everywhere. It was in my eyes. So I'm tired. Sitting feels great. But other than that, I'm okay. So thanks for asking.
Good.
You never really expect people to like, when you're like, oh, how are you? Most
Yeah.
people are like, oh, I'm good. You just keep moving on. And then when
That's
you're
okay.
like, how are you? And they actually tell you, you're like, wait, I didn't ask for all that.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be drinking Sweetwater.
Yes.
So I picked us up some Sweetwater. Sweetwater is an Atlanta classic. This is one of the newer ones, I take it. I think it's a hazy IPA, but it's their tropical high. So we'll see how that is. It's 6.2%, brewed here in Atlanta, Georgia. Nothing cool on the label. So I will crack this open. Will you tell us the word of the week while I do that?
Yes. I think it's exciting because of the book we're doing.
Okay.
First off, spoilers for anyone watching or listening. We're doing Home is Where the Bodies Are by Jeneva Rose. Love her. Okay. So the word is boards or case. So if you look at
A board or a case?
Yeah. So if you look at our book of the week, it is basically the rigid structural cover of a hardcover book. So it's what's under the jacket. So this thing with the tape, the VHS tape, that's the jacket. And the reason I chose board and case is so you can learn something technical in the publishing world.
Okay.
So it's this part.
It's the hardcover.
Yes.
Okay.
And basically, there's another one, the undercover or under jacket design, is popular in modern publishing, often screen printed or embossed with designs. And the reason I wanted to show those is because look how pretty it is.
Can I touch it?
It's so soft, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's cool because it has the VHS in the VHS player, and it says summer of 1999, which is big in the book. It's just really pretty with the colors, and it's cool because there's a VHS on the jacket.
The VHS on the front definitely makes more sense now that I've listened to it.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, oh, what is this going to be about? And then I figured it out. So, okay, so board and case.
You could call it either one.
Board or case.
Yeah.
Okay, board or case.
That's the hard part.
Why can't we just say hardback or hardcover?
I mean, it is called a hardcover. The book is.
But if we want to be fancy, we say, oh, wow, look at that book's board.
That's the part. Yeah, the part of the hardcover.
Right.
Yeah.
So like the part that holds the picture that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start using that. Wow, look at that book's case.
Yeah. Or board.
Or board. But you said I could use either. So I wouldn't say board or case. I would say either or, right? So I'd go, oh, wow, look at that book's board.
Yeah.
Look
or
at
case.
That. Yeah. Okay, so every time I'm going to use it, you're going to tell me,
yeah.
Or board or case. Okay.
I'm being a smarty pants.
I like it. Well,
Okay.
Do you have a lot of good notes?
I have notes. I just really enjoy her books.
Okay. Well, let's
Try the beer.
try this.
Cheers.
It is hazy to an extent. I can almost see my finger through it, which, just, it's not that hazy.
I've liked their stuff better in the past. It has a horrible aftertaste.
See, I have.
Come on.
Okay.
Let's try another sip.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's a mass-produced hazy IPA.
Yeah.
So for what it is. It's consumable. It's not, there's no off flavors. I don't get anything bad. They're professionals at what they do.
Yeah.
Is it a Monday night hazy IPA?
No.
No. Is it a contrast hazy IPA?
No.
It's a Sweetwater hazy IPA. Okay. So knowing all that, I guess the tropical high part too kind of throws me off because I feel like they just, I don't know what they do, but I just feel like it's just like all of the beer hugs and the Voodoo Rangers and all of the big beers are like, this is only 6%, but the big ones that are like 9 and stuff, they're too sweet for me.
Yeah.
And they have that weird, like, oh, we're tropical punch. And it's not real. So that's what I was expecting with this. So
I miss their blue.
yeah.
I really liked that one back in the day. Do they still make it? They probably do.
I think so. We'd have to look that one up if we had a producer. Okay. Are you ready to get into your notes in the book?
Sure. Well, first, did you like it?
I did. I thought it was decent. The more that it went on, the better, in my opinion, that it got.
Yeah.
Some of my complaints with some of the other books that we've done is that they bring you along so far and you're like, oh, wow, it's a great story. And then all of a sudden, they just give you like 3 or 4 chapters to sum everything up.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like this one did that. I felt like this one, sorry, I'm pointing at your book again. I did that last step. This one, I don't think that this one did that as much. To me, it actually took me on a ride from the start up and then down. And the way that it ends is a good ending. And yes, that chapter did sum everything up because, you know, we'll get to that later, obviously, what it is. But the letter, some close to the end. Maybe it wasn't the last. Okay. But it summed everything up. But for me, it just flowed really well. So I did like it. Entertaining. Like I said, I think I might be a not horror.
It's a domestic thriller.
Thriller, mystery type thing. I like those.
I do too.
Yeah.
I've wanted to get more into them. It's just I haven't.
Yeah.
And I really, really, first off, really like her as what I see online.
Yeah, I did some Instagramming and looked stuff up, and she's pretty funny.
Yeah, Jeneva Rose, like the first time I saw her, and this is how I discovered her, she was having beef with a man named Scott.
Dang you, Scott.
On her Instagram, but basically she's very like sarcastic in a funny way. And he wrote her an email, and I think he thought something about it being a review, and she responded to him in such a funny way, and then they kept going back and forth. But basically she called him her pen pal, even though he hated her books and told her she shouldn't be writing. And then a Barnes & Noble, one of their employees recommended one of her books, and they usually hang a piece of paper as to why or what it's about, and then something they think about it. And she got sent one, and it said something about what it was, and then it said, Scott probably wouldn't like this.
Scott probably wouldn't like
something.
this.
It's a whole thing, and that's what got me into like her Instagram. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should go try to read one of her books, and I did, and I like her books. So,
you know, last week I said I gave a little spoiler to everybody that Emma gave me the book early, so I was able to start listening to it before.
Yes,
you told me what it was technically on the pod, and I told you that I felt like it was kind of like elementary writing style. Because I don't know what writing styles are. But for me to be able to understand it so well, and there was like things like the bands that the person was like mentioning and stuff.
Yeah.
I got all the notes right there. But the '08 Camry, she said something about her car being a 2010 Camry. And I'm like, we drive an '08 Camry, like, so it was very relatable. So I said elementary, but after I was finished with it, I like it. But now I'm curious.
Well, these characters are our age, basically.
Yeah. So that they're a little bit older, I think, than us. But I am curious, how much does social media play into somebody enjoying a book now? So, you follow her online.
Yeah.
You know her husband because he's funny online in her videos.
Yeah.
You know the back and forth between her pen pals. So like you're following the storyline of her. So then when she comes out with a book, I wonder what that plays into it compared to when Jane Austen wrote Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't have Facebook back then and Instagram. So do the words mean as much as they used to? I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I think it's a way for authors nowadays to be able to interact with their audience, also show who they are as people,
Mm-hmm.
and then also promote their books. Because if you think about it, somehow they have to be these great writers. You have to attract people to your books. Then you have to promote your books.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's a book tour or saying, hey, online, I wrote this book. It's about this.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's a good tool if done right.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I didn't know who she was before I found that. And then I watched all those, and now it's been years later. But I have a few of her books, and yeah.
I think it's
It's actually right there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It's the top book on her. Oops. Top book on her thing. Look at that, boo. Okay, cool. Well, that was just my question. So I like how social media is there for people to be able to get to their audience.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast because I love podcasts.
Yeah.
So before we jump into it, sorry. I was listening to a podcast and they brought up something about back in the day for comedians, if you didn't see them on the road, you would see their special on HBO or Netflix or whatever. But now with all the podcasts out there, you almost get to know the person behind the scenes. So you're kind of like following their story, almost the same as that. So if I went and watched a stand-up that I have been following on podcasts for a while and they didn't do so well, I probably want to...
You could be very easily disappointed.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'd be following them, so like I would give them the benefit of the doubt, or I'd be like, oh, it's a night off, or like they're not on it tonight because they've talked about it on the podcasts. So same thing with the book. So it's like, I don't know.
Well,
it's a good way to be connected.
Her bestseller, which I think it's her bestseller, I think I have 3 of her books right now. Out of the 3, that one is my least favorite, and it's her bestseller.
Really?
Yeah. So it's also about preference. Yeah. So I enjoy her books, and I still enjoyed my least favorite of the 3 I have. But yeah, I like her books. So
that's good. It was just a question. Okay.
So one thing I really liked that this book did is kind of highlighted memory versus reality.
Mm-hmm.
So the siblings, all 3 siblings, remember their childhood through different like lenses. Like their perception is reality type deal.
Right.
So when they find the VHS tapes, that kind of showed, like when they watched it, that first part of summer 1999 when everything was normal, that showed a more objective reality. It's kind of like what life was like in that moment, not through their eyes, through their mom's, because she was the one with the camcorder.
She was the one with the POV.
Yeah. And then an example in the book is the girls kept saying Michael was which is the brother. Michael was the golden child and he got everything. But in reality, he was I think the mom used rehabilitated in her sections, while the girls resented him. So they were forcing all this love on him to try to rehabilitate him and try to turn him into a good person. So.
Nice.
So, Nicole, were you going to say something?
Nope.
Okay. Nicole, she's the middle child.
Oh, maybe I do want to say something.
Okay.
I wasn't going to, but now I got to ask. How do you want to break this down? Are we going chapters? Are we going characters? What are we doing right now so I know where we're at?
Well, I just have notes. It's not really going by chapter by chapter.
Okay. So if I have things, I can just kind of like blurt them out.
Yeah,
Okay.
please. Because
Okay.
my chapters, I put them under each person's name
Oh.
and what chapter it was. So I have Beth, oldest, chapter 1, chapter 3, chapter 4, and then I say what happens in those.
Okay.
But my talking points don't have those. I have examples in my talking points, but okay.
My beard's attacking the microphone. Every time I get close, it's like it sticks to it. It's just.
Is it still wet from your shower?
A little bit. It's
That's
just
fine.
a little sticky. Okay. Well then, yeah. What's your next note?
You didn't want to add some?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
So Nicole, she was the middle child.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one.
You're a middle child.
I am. She was the one that became an addict. She kind of lost her way there for a little bit. So, because of that, I feel like her siblings didn't give her enough credit because they didn't trust her.
Mm-hmm.
Like Beth says multiple times, I don't trust her, or what are you going to do with the money if I sell the house?
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust her not to steal something, stuff like that. And then, but basically, her past actions and that addiction tainted her credibility to her siblings. She was like, when she was trying to investigate and actually see if there was more that they could do or more that they could find out about Emma.
That's you.
Yeah, but I didn't die.
Not yet.
Hey.
We're all gonna die one day.
Yep. So she
Sorry. That might lead me to the next point. Sorry, keep going.
Okay. But she's actually trying to investigate this. Like, she was going to Casey, the detective guy that she was friends with in school,
Mm-hmm.
saying, hey, I'm writing a book. And she wasn't at the time. Can I have these case files? Like, she was trying to do the right thing, even though at first she was like, let's not say anything unless we find more.
Right.
And then she's the one going out trying to find more.
She also did things behind their back, like open the safety deposit box.
Yeah.
And
She
that-
stole that key.
Yep, that was supposed to go to Beth.
Well, she stole it after what Michael did
But still, she stole it.
because she wanted to get high again.
Right. So she stole it.
Yep.
And that went back to the can't trust her to do things.
Yep.
She's proving people's points in that,
Yeah.
though Beth didn't really care at the end. She was like, you opened the box, what was in it? And then she handed it. There was not a big fight or anything, but she still stole the key. Stole the key. She stole the key.
Stole.
I'm tired, people. I told you. She stole the key and then opened the box.
Yeah.
It wasn't hers to open.
Yeah. But she thought I kind of get her point though. Like, when this started, she was 29 days sober.
Right.
So she's still fighting. I mean, I think addicts continue to fight even after they've been sober for years.
Yeah. I think they say they're always an addict or
Yeah.
something,
And
Always.
that takes a tremendous amount of courage and stuff to be able to fight that. So when Michael, her brother, was messing with her mind so much, it just like flipped that switch. So in a way, I understand why she stole that. She thought she was going to find money or something she could sell in that box. And then as soon as she saw what it was, she took action and she saved her sister.
Yep.
Called the police, cut off that line of thinking and just went.
That's true. You sound so stuffy.
I am so
you
stuffy.
sound so stuffy.
That dang pollen.
The brother in the beginning, that's how I have him down as a bro.
His name is Michael.
Michael. I always connect with the dudes for some reason. I mean, because I'm a dude.
Well, yeah, and I connect with the ladies.
And he moved away. He's doing his own thing. He's successful, whatever that means. And
Tech guy.
yeah, tech guy doing his thing. And the sisters, resent him for that, right? Like they don't like him for that reason. Hey, you have a
Yeah.
better life than us because you did something, you left, you're making something of yourself. And they all have their reasons for not doing that, right? So like what's the drug addict? Nicole.
Nicole.
Nicole was the one doing the drugs, and then I think Beth has like a chapter part on it where she talks about it. Like,
Yes.
Nicole's doing this. I always had to take care of mom or whatever, or however. Like,
She was the
and then
older sibling.
Yep,
She had to take care of everything. Yeah.
dad disappeared, so the dad disappears.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. But going back to earlier when I was like, "Ooh, this might lead me to the next thing." I think. Oops. Oh no.
Go ahead and say it. It's okay.
Okay. So I thought this was for the brother, but it's not. This is actually for Lucas. And Lucas is the across the street neighbor, bless you,
Thank you.
who is the brother of Emma, the girl that died back in 1999.
When she was 12.
Yep. So she talks about him possibly being a cynic.
I think so.
And so it's actually chapter 16. She goes on a walk with the ex-fling. She says she deleted her social media because she was tired of seeing other people happy.
Yes.
So, and then she said something about enjoy his cynic view or something like that. Or like how he is a cynic because of his view, because the way he's acting, which is kind of like everything is how it is.
Yeah.
And before she said that part, I was like, oh, I relate with him because like, that's how it is. So can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you look up what a cynic is?
I have my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. It says, a cynic is a person who believes human actions are primarily motivated by selfishness rather than altruism. They're defined by a distrustful, pessimistic, and often sneering attitude toward human nature and societal motives. Common synonyms include skeptic, pessimist, doubter. So examples: the cynic in him expected the partnership to fail immediately. A cynic might call the charity event a mere publicity stunt. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, behavioral view, they doubt the sincerity of good deeds, general attitude, a habit of expecting the worst in people and situations.
Gotcha.
Stuff like that.
So she was talking about Lucas that way, but
Well, after his sister died or went missing for however many years,
yeah,
I get it.
can't blame him, I guess. Okay, well, like I said, I thought that was about Michael. So when you brought up Michael and we were talking about him, I thought that would segue, but
That's okay.
it didn't.
We can talk about whatever we want.
No, we can't. This is not our podcast. Just joking. It's our podcast. We can do what we want. Okay. What you got? What else?
Okay.
Anything good?
Well, Michael as the killer. You want to talk about that?
Well, I know that it's spoiler alerts, but like you just dropped a bomb on everybody. Hey guys, Michael's the killer.
I said spoilers.
I know. I said that you gave that warning, but you just dropped it like halfway through. You're like, well, and by the way, boom. Michael's the killer.
Okay. So my question to you is, did you suspect he would be or not?
No. So at first, and I text you this, I thought that it was actually Lucas. I thought it was going to be Lucas, the brother of the person that went missing.
And why?
I don't really know why, because I didn't really put any good notes down for that. Let me see. When I text you that, though, there was just something. Bro and sis drive to see Daddy. They don't find him. Something sketchy in the motel. So
Was it about him maybe not wanting to know what happened to her when Beth asked?
Maybe. I think I was also just looking for someone to blame. Because I didn't suspect Michael. So I don't know. I think I was just looking for someone to blame. And there were things that maybe that was part of it. Him, whatever, not wanting to know what's going on. But I don't know. I should have made a better note about that to be like, okay, I think it's him in this part for this reason.
That's okay. So I have a few reasons why I wouldn't have thought and why I did think he was.
I thought Michael, like I said earlier, was pretty solid.
He seemed that way, yeah.
Chapter 23, he's still kicking butt for his sis in the hotel or in the motel.
Yep.
So, it's not to the very, very end that he becomes the heel. I guess he was from the beginning, but
So it seems that way.
yeah. So he killed somebody. But, yeah, okay. Keep going.
So
Onward.
in some cases, it was no because he protected Nicole. Then he did the brotherly thing when they all went to the bar and he bought most of the rounds. He was just saying, I got this. I have the money. Let me just buy it.
Mm-hmm.
He
Baller.
Yeah. He continues to get groceries for them without them asking. He bought a phone for Nicole.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
That was chapter 7.
Yeah.
That was my only thing that I got out of that chapter. Brother gets druggy a cell phone. That's my note.
But the thing is, Nicole even had a memory where she was like, when I was scared of the monsters under the bed, even though he was my younger brother, he would come and stay and sleep in the foot of my bed to protect me. And it's like, wow, they had a really good relationship as kids. And now, she resents him. And the thing about her resenting him is there was a whole, where is it?
I'd be curious why she resents him.
Well, she said it.
And the reasons are kind of silly.
Yeah.
Not silly. Everybody has their own reasons. I need to be better about that. But
she was just so messed up. She was like, okay, chapter 7. She resents Michael because he left her. Resents him for having money, for not being an addict, and for not being there when she needed him. Because he was there for her as a child. And when he left for 7 years, that's when her addiction came out and got bad.
Yeah, so she's blaming him for leaving to better himself instead of staying there to take care of her.
She felt abandoned because he didn't even visit once.
Right. Which then we go on to figure out why.
Yeah.
No, so at that point I was like, I don't really like that because I resent you for not being a drug addict.
But it's also
just because you are.
But that's also a jealousy thing.
Right.
She's being very human in that moment.
Call him peanut butter because she's jelly. Okay, I tried that last time. Okay, keep going.
Now, my reasons as to why there were signs that he was the killer.
Okay.
He had 5 chapters from his POV.
Okay.
Their dead mother had way more chapters than him. She had. So he had 5 chapters.
So why is that? Why would that make him the killer?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She had 10. So she had double the amount of chapters he did. So the reason is, yes, we're going to have more main characters. But if you look at it, Jeneva Rose, she basically evenly split the chapters between Beth and Nicole, even though Beth got more at the beginning. But their chapters were like that. Then you get Laura's, the mom, put in there every now and then. But then Michael, he gets 5 chapters. It's like, why is he getting so little? So it makes you think just a little bit. Why? Right?
Nope, not at all. Didn't make me think that at all.
It made me think that.
I like that, yeah.
Okay. And then in some cases, his stance, when they were discussing things, it came off as if he was the devil's advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. You could be the devil's advocate. You got to talk everything through. Then he'd think, if it was his POV, or say something if it was the girl's POV that was weird. An example, chapter 1. He hadn't been home for 7 years, which again we later find out why. Beth describes that he is not the most trusting person, so he doesn't trust people easily, which could just be a normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the way Beth describes it in chapter 3 is kind of funky. Chapter 8, when the will is being read, we find out that he had been sending $2,000 a month to his mom.
Yep. She had over $100,000.
Yeah.
And that was another point at that point in the story where I was like, baller move.
Yeah.
All right, cool. He was trying
You
to
think-
support his mom.
Yeah, you think he's a good guy in that
Yeah.
situation. But then, so their mom was putting that money into a separate account, right? So it wasn't touched. Nothing was touched at all with that. And then we find out from the lawyer that she wanted all of that money to be donated to the Missing Persons Foundation. The girls take it to mean that is in reference to their dad, because their dad disappeared. And then Michael's jaw got tight at the news. That was page 43. He got his jaw, he didn't like that at all. Like, he got kind of standoffish. Yeah, I get it. You might be frustrated your money wasn't used how you wanted it to be. But the way it was written, it's like, this is just how I'm seeing it.
Yeah, that's neat.
Then, chapter 12, page 65, Michael says another an anonymous thing like, guilt can eat you slowly or swallow you whole. And that was in reference to the girls questioning if their dad left in 2015 because of his role in the Emma situation. That comment can be seen when you look back, once you get to the end, as a sentence that can be used for Michael's situation and his parents' situation. Like, the older you get, the more you realize emotions and stuff. Like, you could, yeah, guilt can eat at you. But the
Yeah.
way he said it, when, I don't know, it just hit.
Yeah. Nice. My chapter 24 says, ew, she kisses the neighbor boy. Gross. That's all I got out of that chapter.
She does kiss him. That was Lucas.
That's gross. I skipped ahead 30 seconds somewhere. I think I notated where I did. I was like, oh, right here. 36. Gross. They kiss. I skipped 30 seconds. And then Lucas says his dad killed his sis, but Beth says no. She shows him the tape, but the footage is gone. Bum, bum, bum. But that's gross. Kisses. I was like, I don't want to hear about this. Sorry.
You're good.
Filler content.
And then chapter 26, page 144. He has a thought, this was during one of his POVs, that everything in the parents' house should be trashed because things from the past hold us back from going forward. And he states in his POV that is the only way to live. Why should things stay in the past? Like, don't you care that your parent is now dead? Shouldn't you want one thing to remember them by? I get that some people aren't as touchy-feely, don't want to hold on to like knickknacks like that. But also it's like, we have our pet's paw prints that have passed, you know? I would hate it if we didn't have that.
Yeah.
It's not the same as a human, but
Yeah. I think everybody's different. Obviously, he didn't want it for specific reasons, but the past is the past.
yeah.
You can't change the past. You can learn from the past. You can, not speaking for him, obviously, because he's a killer, but, you know, just taking something out of there, like, you know, you can learn from it, but, like, you can't change it. So, not wanting to keep all the stuff, like, then he'd have to have a whole nother house to keep everything, you know? So, like,
Yeah.
he was willing to buy the house, but for different reasons. Alternative
Which
motives.
we find out at the end.
Yep. But yeah, I think that like not living in the past, I don't know, it's a good thing. What is it when you live in the future, it's anxiety. When you live in the past, it's like depression or something. Have you ever heard that?
No.
So like when you or not live, when you think too much about the future,
You get anxious.
you get anxious. When you think too much about the past and things that you've done in the past that you can't change, you're like, oh, I'm a bad person, or like blah blah blah. You need to learn from that, but like you need to live in the now. You know, like the now is the only thing that you can control. You can't control the future unless you're doing something in the now. You obviously can't change the past, but
Yeah.
So I kind of understood where he was coming from. Like, once again, that part, get rid of everything. Like, hey, you just keep moving on. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Still a baller. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from.
It just stuck out to me. Again, these could all be argued. You have a different POV than I do.
And it changed once I realized he was the killer. I was like, oh yeah, screw that guy. Quick question. Chapter 15. They go back to the mom's POV, and she mentions that moms just know where their kids are. And she was talking to the mom of the dead girl, who she was looking for her own son. She was like looking for Michael or whatever. And then the dead girl's mom was looking for the girl,
Susan.
And she was just like, oh yeah, like, ooh, moms just know, like, she's not there or whatever. And she said that, like, she's like, I knew where my kid was because moms just know that. So he was there somewhere with her. And then I put foreshadowing. Dun, dun, dun. So chapter 15.
You did good.
Yeah, chapter 15. She was looking for her son. The other mom was looking for the daughter that disappeared. So I put foreshadowing.
I missed that. And he was the one that killed her.
He was the one that killed her. And that's why she said, moms always know where their kids are or whatever. So like something else happened. That was just my very lackluster note there. Just like,
no, that was a good note. Boo, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. So I saw it. I was like, ooh, foreshadowing. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to keep going.
Are you still on
right
about
here.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, keep going.
So, chapter 30. They went to the boar's nest, right?
Okay.
Remember Michael had suggested it?
I like the brother's mean attitude. Keep going.
I put, he suggests it.
I put ha 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 afterwards though.
To stop the girls.
He speaks truth.
Speculation, investigation, so he can get out of the house as well as refocus their attention on settling the estate.
He wants to buy the house.
Yes, and that's when he said, hey, I want to buy the house. I'll even offer above market value, blah, blah, blah. It seems like it's a good brother move.
Yeah.
And he's also like saying...
He's a great brother.
Yeah, and he's also like saying, let's refocus this so we can settle the estate and move on with our lives, because we know from his other comments that he doesn't like staying in the past.
Right.
But again, after you read the ending and you look back at this, you're like, he didn't want them figuring out anything. And then he was also like, I want the house. Give me the house.
At the time, I was just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You'd already read this one, so you had insight.
It was a while ago.
You still had insight.
Yeah, but I forgot a lot of what happened until I started rereading.
And then it started coming back to you, so you had insight. You had insider information. This is insider trading.
Chapter 11, page 49, when they went to watch the tape where they saw Emma dead. He says before that, digging up the past is depressing when the girls want to watch it. And then afterward, after the first part of the video where it's their normal lives, he's white as a ghost. But also the girls are like crying and stuff because it's memories. But just the white as a ghost part, like after it showed Christy, even though he had nothing to do with her disappearance, he still turned white as a ghost. And then I think it's also he recognized, could be just reaching far out there with this, but he recognized that was the summer where everything happened.
I think you just don't like a strong MMC.
Oh, I do. I'm going to make you read a book or
You
8.
better not like a strong MMC. What do you mean? Oh, I do.
And I'm going to make you read a book where there are multiple strong MMCs in there.
No, let's not start this snorting thing again.
Oh, it's going to be so good. You're going to be like, you like this character? I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
You're probably not going to like it.
Probably won't.
Chapter 22, page 122 to 123. The car ride to find Dad.
Bro and sis drive to find Daddy-O. That's
Yeah.
what I put.
So when him and Nicole are in the car on the way there and they're talking, and she was basically like, where have you been for 7 years? It seems as if he slips up when he states to Nicole that Laura, aka their mom, told him not to come back. And then there's pause, and you get text of him thinking, or Nicole thinking. And then he eventually explains that comment away with some lame excuses about Dad was mad I was more successful than him, blah, blah, blah. But he then relaxes more, you could tell with his body language, when Nicole says something similar. But that's in relation to her sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 28, I'm almost done with Michael, I promise.
So she gets a pass, but he doesn't. Okay, cool.
No, she doesn't get a pass. She's a flawed human being in this book. You know?
Okay, yeah, uh-huh.
Chapter 28, when the siblings talk about Christy's disappearance and confirm their mom's change after Emma, Michael downplays the whole situation. Later, we learn in Laura's truth letter that Christy's role in them finding out. Christy was the one that had the role in the parents finding out the truth of Emma's death.
So in chapter 28,
Uh-huh.
the sis, the drug addict, watches another video.
I thought that was Beth.
I thought it was Nicole. Can you look it up?
28, yes. Nicole, yeah, it was her.
So she did that. And then later on, that's when she goes and does the lockbox, opens the safety deposit box. So that's another strike against her.
Yeah.
You're just going in on Michael over here.
Well,
I know he's the killer, but I mean, like, we didn't know that till like towards the end. Like, you're just going ham on him.
but the way he was so opposed to anything his sister said kind of like raised a little bit of a red flag.
Well,
You could have devil advocate thoughts and stuff, no problem. But you see Beth and Nicole also disagreeing, but
Right.
not in the same way.
he's second guessing his drug addict sister.
No, I feel like he was more protective of her
He stood
than
up
Beth.
for him, and that's why he was kicking some butt in chapter 23.
That was a great scene.
Yeah,
I will
he
say
went in
that.
there, and I still liked him in that
And
because
then
he
he
went in
tossed the
there.
money on top of him.
I said, "Dang, bro, starts kicking some butt." Some dude gave him an unfriendly nod in the beginning, but after he kicked some butt, he gave him a friendly nod. And I like how he
Yeah.
said,
I
could tell it was a friendly nod or whatever. I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool."
that was it. That was a cool scene.
Yep.
I will give him props for that POV chapter.
So see, that's why still at that point I'm like, all right, cool. So
Yeah.
he provided a lot of money to his mom. He was trying to take care of her, and the sisters didn't know, which is another reason they didn't like him, or
They resented him.
resented him for that for reasons. And that was like, hey, you weren't here, and he was like, cool, I wasn't here, but I was paying for everything. And they're like, what do you mean? I was paying for everything. Beth said that. And then that's when they find the 100K. So like, that's one ding for him. He was like, hey, I'm trying to be good, trying to help out where I can. Then he beats up some people, a drug person for his sister.
Yeah.
So that's number 2. He's buying them all the drinks and everything. He's buying their groceries. He's doing it all for bad motives, but he's doing the things.
Yeah. You gotta keep up the facade?
Facade.
They, thank you. Facade. Facade. Thank you. You gotta keep it up though. If you're trying to hide things, you gotta be like, I'm the good person. Look at me.
Yeah. Okay, what else you got? Are you done with Michael?
Yeah.
All right.
Laura's letter. Chapter 46, page 233 to 238. So she could not bear the guilt, and that's as seen with her actions for Charles. And then she left the letter. She reveals they didn't actually favor Michael. They were afraid of what he did and who he could become. They were essentially his emotional hostages and real accomplices. Every gift is basically a desperate attempt for them to rehabilitate him, saying, see, we love you. You're a good person, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Put the energy somewhere else.
yeah, like focus on tech. You can make something of yourself. And he did.
One thing with that is that one of the reasons the girls resented him,
Yep.
which makes sense here, is that they did think that he was being unfairly.
He was.
Okay.
He was being unfairly treated compared to them.
Right.
Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay. Keep going.
So after she lays out everything that happened, her maternal instinct evaporated and severed forever. Him basically killing Emma and Brian destroyed his or her ability to see him as a son. I don't know about you, but I don't know like how she would be like, I still love you, but I never want to see you. I would have been like, I hate you. You killed the love of my life.
Yeah. It's wild.
What do you think about that part where we find out the dad did not disappear?
I figured he died somehow, but I didn't know it was Michael.
Yeah.
Don't trust the brother. That's what she says in 44.
Don't trust him.
It says, the person who was yelling for Beth finds her. It was Lucas. And then it says, don't trust the brother. He smashes Lucas. He smashes Lucas with the metal. So the whole going back to what the mom said of your dad didn't disappear.
Yeah.
And then don't trust. And that was the point where it was like, oh, don't trust the brother. So like, yeah.
And right before that scene, that's when she finds the graves in the pet cemetery. And she's like, we never had a pet named Butterfly, Goofy, or Garfield.
Bum, bum, bum.
And then the reason, she's like, I have no idea who Garfield is, but the reason Emma was called Butterfly was because she was always described as one, like a little person taking off with her wings. And then Goofy, that was their nickname for their dad because even when he was stern, he was so goofy.
Mm-hmm.
That was sad. Oh, that was really sad. What do you think of the choice of Brian and Laura, aka mom and dad, to protect Michael and to try to rehabilitate him? I don't think I could ever do that.
Nah.
Like,
Call the cops.
yeah, if we had a kid, probably never will. But we don't want to be parents. Here's a prime example. Why, right? You never know if your kid's going to turn out to be a psychopath.
Or the next president of the United States.
True. But
And some might say that's the same thing. Sorry, keep going.
imagine having that job. There's a reason why every president that goes in, their hair instantly grays. Like that stress. Ooh. Another thing with that, of them protecting him, when we learn in chapter 38, which is one of Laura's chapters, that Brian called in that anonymous tip on Charles Gallagher, which is the creepy neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I found that like so sad.
That she called it in?
No, Brian did. Couldn't agree with, I can't read my handwriting. Couldn't agree with that. Oh, I couldn't agree with that, but he says he did that to protect them all. But I love how Laura went back and put the bike somewhere where it could be found, Emma's bicycle, to kind of, while Charles was in jail.
Okay, so wait, start over. Like, what are you talking about? Brian doing what?
Brian is the one that called in
Called in what?
the anonymous tip,
For?
Charles Gallagher,
Okay.
which is where the police were focusing on him to like saying he had something to do with
Him
Emma's.
being the Charles,
Yes.
not Brian.
Yes.
Okay.
Where he, Charles, had something to do with Emma's disappearance.
Okay.
And then because it's a small town, everyone else jumped on that bad bandwagon. And then we find out he did that to protect them, but because
He being
Brian, to protect Laura and the whole family.
His family. Okay.
But Laura couldn't live with the guilt that Charles was being pinned down for Emma's disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
That she put his bike or Emma's bike out where it could be found. And that is what got Charles Gallagher out of jail.
Okay. So what about that were you going for?
It was sad. Like, also the fact that Brian called in the anonymous tip. I get he was trying to protect, he'd do anything to protect his family. But geez, that poor innocent man was already a loner. And then because of that tip, Eddie, Lucas's and Emma's dad, killed Charles, beat him to death. And then Brian, their dad, helped Eddie, Lucas, and Emma's dad hide the body.
Cover that up, yep. And that's why home is where the bodies are.
Yeah, it's like, and he was, I believe, Garfield in the.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The third body.
Yeah. It's just like, dang, their dad is like a professional body hider.
Okay. What else you got?
Okay. So, do you remember?
We're coming up at like an hour or two. Just
this is my last thing.
Okay.
Do you remember when Laura, in her chapters, like she thought that Brian was the killer? She's like, can't believe I'm living with a monster. Until Brian told her the real truth of what happened with Emma's body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
Chapter 15.
It's in my mind.
Chapter 15, page 78. They're at the Groove It in the Grove carnival / fundraiser. And Laura takes a picture with Susan. They take a little selfie, right? And Laura goes into the history of that camera, basically saying Brian bought it for her. He said he lost the receipt, so he couldn't return it because money was tight. And she stated that Brian was always a terrible liar. So she knew he was lying in like that instance. So you would think in all of her POVs before Brian became clean that she would have realized he was telling the truth.
I don't think it's became clean. I think it's come clean. Like came clean.
Did I say became?
I think so.
Oh, I wrote came. I wrote came.
Yeah. He didn't become clean because the sister needs to become clean.
Yeah.
The dad came
That's
clean with everything.
Yeah. But you would have thought, like, if you could tell he is an easy or not a good liar, you would have thought that she would have realized he was telling the truth.
Right.
But he just couldn't tell her the full truth because he was protecting her. But also that puts into question, like, would you expect someone to help you bury a body and then not tell them the truth? Like, why am I helping you do this? Because that guilt was eating away at Laura.
Shouldn't have helped conceal a body, and then you wouldn't have the guilt for concealing a body. Case closed.
Yeah, true. But I think that one line of her saying Brian was always a terrible liar was Geneva Rose's way to say that Brian is not the killer, and to us, and then to Laura saying, actually do what he says and trust him.
Okay.
I just really like her books.
Yeah, I like it. I like the smile at the end of the explanation. You're like, da, 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 da. Done. It's cute. I like it.
Thanks.
Okay, well, do you have anything else on this?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I think I kind of hit everything.
Would you read another one of her books?
I think so. I do have one thing.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier, but the '08 Camry is what we drive. And that's 2 years newer, or hers was. Beth's was 2 years newer than ours. And then in the next chapter, the sister mentions good songs: Californication, Last Resort by Papa Roach, and then Hurt by 9 Inch Nails. And right when she mentioned Hurt by 9 Inch Nails, she was talking about her first overdose, and she could recite all the words to it or whatever for that reason, because she could remember what was playing. And that kind of stuck out, and I stopped playing the book, and I started listening to Hurt by 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a good song. Because Hurt is originally, I think it's by Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah. Is it?
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. Well,
That's
and
such a good song.
the 9 Inch Nails version, you can just feel, the energy. So I do like that part too. So like that's my last note, is that I do like the book because it pulled things that I knew that I could listen to. Californication, love the Chili Peppers.
Love them.
Yep. Last Resort, I could almost sing every single word to the Last Resort. All right, what's next, boo? What do we got?
Oh,
I'm
what
tired.
do you rate it?
Oh, I think I'd give this a solid 3.8.
I give it a 4.
Okay, pretty close.
Okay, what is next? It was from the book
Oh, is he? What is it?
book Birthday Haul.
Ooh.
The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. I have never read this before, so I have no idea how good it is, how bad it is, what's in it. There are over...
So you don't have insider information, and you're not going to be insider trading on this book because you already knew what happened in the last one.
There are 429 pages.
Sheesh, that's a long one. Is that our longest?
No.
What's our longest so far?
Well,
I think we're in the 4s. Well,
this might be our longest.
that might be.
Yeah. Do you want to read the back?
Nope.
It's up stuffy.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Told in alternating timelines, The Things We Leave Unfinished examines the risks we take for love, the scars too deep to heal, and the endings we can't bring ourselves to see coming. 28-year-old Georgia Stanton has to start over after she gave up almost everything in a brutal divorce: the New York house, the friends, and the pride. Now back at home at her late great-grandmother's estate in Colorado, she finds herself face-to-face with Noah Harrison, the best-selling author of 1 million books, where the cover is almost people nearly kissing. He's just as arrogant in person as in interviews, and she'll be danged if the good-looking writer of love stories thinks he's the one that's going to finish her grandmother's final novel. Can't read that fast. Even if the publishers swear he's the perfect fit. Noah is at the pinnacle. I know Noah. Noah is at the pinnacle of his career with book and movie deals galore. There isn't much the golden boy of modern fiction hasn't accomplished, but he can't walk away from what might be the best book of the century, the one his idol, Scarlett Stanton, left unfinished. Coming up with a fitting ending for a legendary author is one thing, but dealing with her beautiful, stubborn, and cynical, bringing up cynical, look at that,
Cynical.
great granddaughter, Georgia, is quite another. But as they read Scarlett's words in both the manuscript and her box of letters, they start to realize why Scarlett never finished the book. It's based on her real life romance with a World War II pilot, and the ending isn't a happy one. Georgia knows all too well that love never works out. And while the chemistry and connection between her and Noah is undeniable, she's as determined as ever to learn from her great grandmother's mistakes, even if it means destroying Noah's career. Book's done. Let's go. All right. We're almost out of tape. We got to go, guys.
Bye.
Read it. Check it out. Oh,
Give us suggestions.
give us suggestions. Bye. Okay, we got to do.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing? I'm going to be fighting somewhere. Okay. All right, we got it. Deuces.
Give a few.